What's up, everyone? That sweet music that you hear in the background just signifies it's about time to get down and dirty here and talk some sports betting on the Zbookies.com podcast. As always, your host N2 of N2 Media, of course, the real name Nick Sisson, and my main man on the right side of your TV/phone, the coach J-Rock, Jared Stidham, otherwise known as Geographical Topographical Genius Brucey. How are you muted now? What is going on?
That was my fault. That's called a late entry. Okay. It was a delay because I am actually in Brucey's house this week.
Should I start this over?
No, nonsense. You can add the music whenever. I enjoy it.
Yeah. No,
but we gotta keep track of Brucey's geographical topographical picks of the week. I think he went 2-0 last week.
Brucey gets a round of applause. Yeah, Brucey's done great on the geographical topographical.
There's the round of applause, right?
Yeah, well that's the sound of the air horn. Cut that off. You know what? You stopped me right already. I'm a little excited here.
We're gonna go over last week's picks.
Yeah, just to track. They're not good for me. And a boatload of money lost. Hopefully for you, a boatload of money won because, I think you did pretty good actually, if I remember correctly.
NFL, I went 4-2, so we would have made money there, right? If you bet individually, if you took the parlay, not good. And then on college, it was 4-3, so yet again, you would have won money, but it was not as great for the parlay, but we're still above 500 in the early part. And I think I always go into each season, you have to learn who each team is. We're a quarter of the way through the season now, and I think we can make some fair assumptions about what teams are what, if that, The
only thing that I've done well is the locks. Undefeated on locks, 3-0 on locks. If I lock it up, take it. Okay, it's a lock. It's a win. Okay, but NCAA, the first 5 selections that I made, Oklahoma State, no. USC, choke job. Nebraska, choke job. Never had a chance. Cal at Florida State. Okay, finally Florida State does something. South Florida, choke job. Got steamrolled. Couldn't cover 16.5 points against Mario Cristobal. Finally, I had to rely on Colorado just to avoid the skunk on a Hail Mary to tie to go to OT against Baylor. Yeah, had it not been for Shedeur Sanders and some Colorado Prime magic, we'd be staring 0-6 dead in the eye.
It's true. So give me your opinion. Colorado fans, are they fair to rush the field?
Given the circumstances of how the game was won, yes, fair.
Right.
Opponent, not so much. I mean, if I remember correctly, they were favored. Yeah, but they were favored by 2 in this game. So, I mean, if you're expected to win the game, I think storming the field is a no-no.
Amen.
But if you're tying the game on a Hail Mary at the end of regulation, sure. I mean, I think 100%. that the emotions will run high. Fumble,
right? And then it's not even like you had to make multiple plays on defense to stop. It was one play. Ball comes out, right? Fumble through the back of the end zone. Game 1. Like, absolutely, you rush the field there. Anybody who says you don't rush the field there isn't a fan of the sport, has no idea what it's been like to watch your team win in overtime. And that's just a sad feeling for you, all for Colorado to rush the field there.
I mean, Colorado better get their field rushing in while they have a chance to. As soon as the next SEC job opens up, Florida, Coach Prime is going to be opening the transfer portal, and he'll be heading down there coaching an SEC team in no time. Colorado's got no staying power when it comes to Dion being the coach or Coach Prime or whatever the hell he would scold you for calling him. But the truth is that if you're Colorado and you win a game like that, you definitely rush the field. Like, you're Colorado. Like, you haven't been good since Chris Brown, and I'm not talking the wife beater, I'm talking like an actual running back that helped them achieve really, really quality wins back in the late 90s and early 2000s against Nebraska. Doesn't matter. I don't really want to mention Nebraska right now. They're on my shit list. NFL really wasn't much better for me, buddy. I mean, outside of the Colts game, covering 1.5 against Chicago, missed on the Chargers at the Steelers. I blame the injury to Herbert. If Herbert stays healthy in that game, I think they gut it out. Tampa Bay at Denver. Well, obviously nobody saw that coming except for Bo Nix and Denver. Baltimore at Dallas. That was the easiest 1 point in history. Atlanta +3 against KC. Should have got a pass interference call in the end zone. Maybe a different result. Trailer Swift effect in full force once again. And then Arizona, Detroit, good game. But ultimately, the Lions just have a little bit too much. Hopefully they blew their wad, so to speak, heading into Monday night against Seattle.
Right. A little extra time for them to get rested. I went 4-2. I missed on the Tampa Bay Denver game. Just who would have saw that coming? And then I said it last week during the show. Carolina is going to be my beat up team until there isn't, until they give me a reason for them not to be my beat up team. And I love the Red Rifle, but I don't think that game's result necessarily made Carolina no longer be that team. I think it just presented Las Vegas as that team as well.
Sure.
Because both of them
I have a feeling that the Red Rifle might come up here later in the show. I got a feeling about that.
Whoa.
We might be talking a little Red Rifle. Yeah, so last week, one of your picks that worked out okay, I got it written down right here, Seattle -4.5 against Miami. And I tried to tell you to pump the brakes on that one, that, backup quarterbacks can still do things in this league. But the Seahawks defense really stout so far, great against the pass, great at creating pressures and hurries. And they got Thompson out of the game. And, for the second straight week, Miami looked, I'm not going to say disinterested, but they were out of it early, bro. Like, first quarter, they found themselves really far behind. I never felt comfortable, though, until we got that last touchdown. When it was 17-3 the whole time, I still felt like that Miami was within striking range. One big play here to Tyreek Hill, which, rest in peace, my fantasy team. But yeah, man, I mean, Miami just looks like dog shit right now. I mean, can they recover at all from this?
I honestly don't know. I don't know if they have they don't have what do they have? They always just had speed and a guy who could put the ball in the right spot and let guys make things happen in space. And now they don't have that anymore. You're going to have to make a trade for a quarterback if you want to salvage anything this season, in my opinion. What's going to happen too is going to come back and get another concussion. You're going to be still without a quarterback. How many people there are, like you said, are interested in playing? Or do they we've tanked before, we'll tank again?
There's a lot of business decisions, it looks like, that are just being made out there right now. Yeah. And I hate to use that term at this point in the season. I mean, we're only 3 weeks in. They won in week 1. I mean, they're only 1-2. I don't know. I'm not going to say their division's unwinnable, but I also don't want to sit here and say that I think it is winnable. When you have already given a game up to Buffalo at home, and then you have to play them, and they're playing the way that they are so far this year. I mean, I'm having a hard time seeing Miami ended up. Let's just say that the number's 9. To get to 9 wins at this point, right? 9 and 8. If you to creep in as a 7 seed, right? I don't know. They were getting pretty decent odds. I think that their over/under odds were, plus money once you got to that 9.5 win mark. And I don't see them at this point getting it. And I'm just speculating, of course, because I'm not a doctor. But I just don't see Tua coming back this season. If let's just say after your IR stint, you're 1-5. Let's say you haven't won a game since you've been out. Are you really wanting to put this guy back out there? If you're the ownership, if you have any hope of him playing football for another season and starting season over, I don't know if you're putting him back out there, buddy.
I wouldn't. Like I said, I'm not putting Tua back out there if I'm just not. And if you do, it's going to be another concussion and you're going to be without a quarterback yet again. So, you need to – this is doomsday. Doomsday prep, you need to figure out whatever you need to do to get a quarterback on your team. I don't care if it's Zach Wilson. I don't care.
Russell Wilson.
Right. I don't care who it is. You need somebody now. And it's not – this is a problem for the entire year, So for what it's worth.
What if they called and they wanted Sam Howell from Seattle?
Do it. You have all the leverage. They absolutely need it.
Are you getting a third? Are you getting a second? Because they swapped picks and they gave up an extra one to get Howell. But the reason why they ended up getting Howell, the Seahawks, that is because he has the friendliest contract out of any starting quarterback in the league last year. And he's in a situation now. He was a top 12 yards passer last season. So, he's sitting behind Geno Smith losing, No, Skylar Thompson's not the answer. Absolutely not.
No.
So I will say this, though, right? And I don't want to completely shit on Miami, right? I like Dolphins. Flippity, the Dolphin. I don't mind the idea of –
I'm going to be a Dolphin.
Yeah, I don't mind the idea of Tyler Huntley getting the keys to the car and seeing where that can go. Because that's the only guy that I think that they have in-house that I would put out there as thinking we could win a game. There were times where I thought Tyler Huntley would become a regular starter in the league, when he was behind Lamar Jackson. Given the right offense and the right circumstances, I thought Huntley could be a good option. So we'll see how it goes. They need something to believe in Miami. But Seattle, though, covering the 4.5, right? Good for you. I don't like betting on my teams. I don't like betting on teams I hate.
I don't like betting on teams that I love if I don't feel like I have a good feel for them, right? Because then it's just your heart making picks. But this Seattle team, man, I feel like I understand what we are.
Sure. Yeah. Third best passing defense in the league. And, got a couple of guys that are in the top 15 for pressures. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. The other team that I'm looking at here that you picked last week successfully, Bills over Jacksonville. Man, Jacksonville looks like a dumpster fire right now.
Out of nowhere.
I think it's hard to say that you fire a Super Bowl winning coach in Doug Peterson, but when you're giving up 34 in the first half on national TV, something's, like he said, something's got to change. Are you really benching Sunshine at this point? I don't know.
Is it? I feel like it's the coach.
He also got them turned around though, and got them winning some games again. I'm scratching my head about the Jags. I don't know. Yeah, it's tough for me to believe that Doug Peterson's the problem. Although I will say this, I've never been a fan of the dude's visor. The visor look is like John Gruden and John Gruden only. Don't bring that energy to the sideline. You ain't John Gruden.
Chip could run it back in 2000, the late 2000s, early teens. Chip could do it.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Trevor Lawrence definitely has lost his confidence. I appreciate the comment. And feel free to type in any comments, suggestions, feedback. But yeah, man, Trevor Lawrence just doesn't look good this year. And the other thing too is that they don't really have a steady run game right now with ETN. Somehow my wife's fantasy team is 2-1 with that bum on her roster and playing every week. But like if your quarterback can't help you out down the field, it's so hard for the running backs nowadays. To find open lanes to run in. Defenses are just so much faster, bigger, stronger than they ever have been. And you need a good quarterback to be successful in this league. And right now, the Jaguars just look like a mess, And the one game that you had that just went completely the other way, you mentioned it, Red Rifle Man gets inserted in the lineup, and he's just like, oh, yeah, let me show everybody real quick that it's not the Panthers that are bad. It's Bryce Young that's bad. Okay, great. So now let's see who's going to want to trade for that guy. If Andy Dalton's coming in and winning you a game in that fashion on the road, and I loved Antonio Pierce just after the game, like calling out all of his guys, like, you just let Andy Dalton come into our house and smoke us. Yeah, I don't understand, how the Panthers can reinsert Bryce Young in a favorable situation. It's the amount of capital that they invested in on him to this point. It's indicative, like almost that you can't come back from it. A number 1 pick overall that you traded up for getting benched. Like I only think of like Jamarcus Russell at this point, and even he lasted longer than Bryce Young.
I just hope that Bryce Young knew that he was going to the Panthers, and maybe he was like, after last season, I'll do whatever to get out of here. Don't worry. We'll get to Buffalo. Don't worry. And he'll end up somewhere. We all said horrible things about Sam Darnold, every single one of us, right? And now look at him. Vikings, when we found out that, they were going to have their first round draft pick quarterback sit this entire season to repair his knee, everybody was like, well, Vikings are going to rebuild. And then Sam Darnold was like, I'm king of castle. See me? I sit in chair now. Right. And he's just out there going yard, and he doesn't have all the weapons that are supposed to be there. And
He's got Justin Jefferson. That's a pretty good weapon.
I mean, Justin Jefferson's a great weapon. If you only have one, that's a great one. But you know what I'm saying? Jordan Addison hasn't been there, right? So no run game.
He's about to not be there for longer too.
Yeah, it's true.
But got a lot of bad drivers in the NFL.
It's insane. And Georgia's like the epicenter of bad drivers. But let's get into it. Take me to your six pack.
Let's start in college.
We're gonna start college.
Work our way. So right. You want to stay on NFL since we're talking NFL?
That's kind of been the flow of the shows.
All right, let's stay. All right, on the bottom of your screen, here it is. Right. By the way, for those that don't know or who care or don't care, Jared and I don't really share our picks with each other. We don't discuss them or talk about them ahead of time. So
no.
My 6-leg parlay of the week, again, all these betting lines that we talk about on Zbookies, is brought to you proudly by the A-Lene Sportsbook in Ridgefield, Washington, just up the road from the brand new Costco, soon to be In-N-Out Burger location. So yeah, you could do this all on the website, and you could save your bet. You could walk right in, and you can get your slip. $25 wager here. Odds at the bottom. Let's get into it here. All right. So Red Rifle, Andy Dalton. Okay, prove to me that Bryce Young is the issue, and if you that Carolina is playing Andy Dalton's former team, whom drafted him, Cincinnati.
You're not there.
Oh, can you hear me?
It was we dropped signal.
What?
You were driving through a tunnel. Yeah, you're good.
Oh, I'm into it. Sorry. I was saying Red Rifle.
Yep.
Okay. Prove Bryce Young's not any good.
Yep. And go.
Carolina, +4.5, playing Andy Dalton's former team, the struggling Cincinnati Bengals, that I will never pick until they win a game. You're telling me that I get 4.5 points for a former quarterback going into the team that drafted him and released him so they could start Joe Burrow, who is 0-3 with bleach blonde M&M hair. Like, that guy needs to take a razor to that right away. Give me the Panthers plus 4.5. In the battle of the cats. I don't know if that's a topographical battle between a Panther and a Jaguar. Either way, we're gonna go with the Black Panther here in this one. And then Green Bay minus 2.5 at home versus Minnesota. Look, I think Minnesota is a very good team, and I don't feel comfortable picking this. I think that Minnesota, led by Sam Darnold, is very, very quality. They don't make a lot of mistakes. And I still feel ultimately, though, that Green Bay is going to have enough to win this game at home, a division game. This is one of these games to where Green Bay is going to be more desperate at 2-1 than Minnesota is comfortably at 3-0. I don't think that if you're Green Bay, I don't think you want to lose this game, obviously, and be 2-2 looking up at a 4-0 division opponent of which you've already given a game up to. So I think that no matter what really happens, Green Bay is going to figure out a way to win it. Hopefully it's not a 1-point win or a 2-point win. I needed that extra half point here. So let's assume it's like a 27-24, 24-21 type game here. So I like Green Bay as leg number 2. Leg number 3, man, Pittsburgh minus 1.5 at Indianapolis. This seems like the easiest 1.5 ever when you consider how good Pittsburgh's defense is and how much of a rookie still Anthony Richardson is. Essentially, he is. He only played like 4 games last year or 3 games last year before he went out with a shoulder injury. And so he's still kind of figuring things out. Mike Tomlin coached defense, TJ Watt, forget about it. Give me Pittsburgh minus 1.5 on the road. Then San Francisco at home against New England. So you're telling me if San Francisco scores 14 points, they cover this? Because 14-3, New England's not getting much more than a field goal here in this one with Jacoby Brissett on the road. I feel like this is a pretty easy 10.5. I know it's a big number. Not scared. I'm going back to the Chargers. Coming off a loss at home, 7.5. Your best player just got suspended because he plays football hard. I mean, come on, man. Jim Harbaugh, figure it out here. The Chiefs cannot possibly get every call every week. They have to eventually lose. This is the game that forces Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift to finally break up. Plus 7.5 Chargers at home. Give me the other LA team. Money line, straight up. I don't even want the 3 points. At Chicago, Caleb Williams can't throw the ball 20 yards accurately unless Rome Odunze is underneath of it. And the Rams have got 2 rookies that are in the top 10 for pressures on QB, not to mention the fact that Caleb Williams can't figure out a blitz package to save his life at this point. I'm going to go with the Rams in this one. And then all of that, by the way, 25 schmeckles, you win 1,383, odds at plus 5,433. Give it to me.
Yeah, no, a lot of that. There's a lot to love, right?
I love all of it. That's why I picked it.
I think we have one difference.
I know. Let's bring it up.
Let's bring it up.
I'll bring it.
And I will give you my reasonings.
Yeah, I know. And I hope they're good reasons, because I disagree with it. I can tell you that much. But now Jared's is coming across the bottom line here. 6-pack, 6-leg parlay, A&A Sportsbook.
So we're going to start with a game that we agree upon. Rams at Chicago. I like the 3 points. I think that Rams will handily win this game. I get it. Caleb Williams threw for a bunch of yards last week. And he
garbage time.
It just kind of, you haven't seen it yet for Caleb being the quarterback that they wanted. It's been a lot like what it was last year for him at quarterback play. So I love the Rams. 2, we're going to get into the game, right? This is where I have a difference. I have an argument with you.
Sure.
Vikings at Green Bay, right? I love the Vikings in this spot. Like the shadow, the mystique of Green Bay. being Green Bay and owning everybody in their division has kind of drifted away. Vikings have always been the team to give them problems.
Because they're the only team that's ever been historically somewhat decent in that division. Like the Bears and the Lions haven't been good since Tom.
I get it. Okay. I get it. Okay. Hear me out. Malik Willis last week looked like the reason that there was hype about him coming out of the draft, right? Like that was the Malik Willis that everybody thought was going to show up and play NFL football. So there's absolutely zero chance that guy plays again this weekend. It's going to be Dr. Jackal, Mr. Hyde. Going to the revenge factor, who is the running back for the Vikings this season?
Aaron Jones.
Where did he play football?
UCLA.
And where did he play in last year in NFL?
Green Bay, yeah.
All right, so it's a revenge game for him. And then geographically, topographically, this is a fucking nightmare. You have Vikings being able to just literally get on a long ship, drop anchor, and storm into a place where there's cheese workers. That's not a game. That's a massacre. You know, geographically, topographically. If you made the Vikings have to travel by like sea or by land, there's a big difference in the play. Okay. Sea, they get the strength. It's the salt in the air. It awakens something deep in them. Right. Geographical, topographical, lock of the week, Vikings plus 2.5. Take the points, increase the odds. Okay.
Yeah. Well, since it's the geographical, topographical pick of the week brought to you by Brucey, you got to just go straight up then. Don't even take the points. You don't need points.
The straight up isn't as good, though.
Straight up's better. You get more money. You don't think you just told me they're going to win the game.
All right, fine. Take them straight up.
I'm laying 2.5.
I would take the 2.5. I think it makes it.
Then
better.
you got 2.5. Don't let me talk you out of it. You do you. I mean,
the graphics already made, man.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. All right. Continue. I'll say this, right? To add to your point, I'll do my own devil's advocate here.
Okay.
The only reason that Malik Willis played worth a shit last week was because he played against Tennessee.
Okay. Yeah, and it was a revenge game.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah. So my counterpart Mike at Grocery Outlet, great business at Grocery Outlet, by the way. Always a good deal on a Wallaby. But the truth is, right, that he comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, check out my Confidence League picks," you know. And he's like, I got Tennessee at a 4 confidence over Green Bay. And I was like, no. And he's like, what do you mean no? I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, there's absolutely nothing on God's green earth that is going to stop Malik Willis from rubbing this all up and down Tennessee's face. He's like, that guy hasn't done anything in his career. I'm like, exactly. That means he's going to do something this week. He's like, the Titans are favored. I'm like, stop. Trust me. You'll thank me, right? And he's in a big confidence league, huge, a lot of participants, probably the biggest confidence league in the history of confidence leagues. And so basically, he tells me that he changed his pick. I saw him today. He's like, I changed my pick, by the way. I changed it to Green Bay. Thanks for that advice. I ended up getting second this week in the confidence league. And I'm like, exactly. See? And you would have finished like 8th or 9th or 10th or 30th, whatever it is, right? So Malik Willis has blown his wad. He's done, right? I was counting on Jordan Love making a surprise appearance in this game. And if needeth be, I don't know, maybe Romeo Dobbs could step in and play quarterback if they need him to. Who the hell knows? I can't possibly like pick Minnesota to be 4-0 and win a game on the road and be, 2 games up with a tiebreaker in hand. I just don't buy it.
Have to. I'm going to.
All right.
Moving Continue. On to game 3, Philadelphia at Tampa Bay. Okay. I think Philly covers. I don't think what we saw from Tampa Bay last week is a mistake. I think they will struggle against defenses who are able to contain Mike Evans and are able to flow sideline to sideline. And Philadelphia up front, I don't like it. I don't like having a game plan against it. A lot of big boys who are very, very fast. I don't know. Are there talks? Include me. This might even spice it up more. Is Tampa Bay's game getting moved?
There is a hurricane, starting up here. Hurricane Brucey's coming through.
Okay. So if Tampa Bay's game is moved, double it down. Tampa Bay is going to lose even more.
They'll take the game off the board. They'll redo the line.
I don't care. Give me Philadelphia and 2. Take them right now, boys. Going to game 4, Washington at Cardinals. This game goes more back to PTSD. This is a PTSD pick. Fellow Duck fans will know what I'm talking about. There's a certain way that Jaden can play in the desert, and he's just... that is his zone, right? ASU had no business winning in 2019, but Jaden Daniels and Brandon Ayuk, who everybody knows who those two are now, were unstoppable.
Nobody Brandon Ayuk is anymore. That guy's disappeared off the face of the earth.
He's just lurking in the shadows, okay? Contract negotiations pissed him off. He's stalling people out a little, okay? So give me Washington. I like that game. Number 5, my dear Seahawks. I'm going to list 5 reasons why I love them on the road at Detroit. Total defense. Number 2. Passing defense. Number 1. Scoring defense. Number 4. Red zone defense. Number 4. Third down defense. Number 4. If you told me Seattle's defense was going to be playing that kind of way going into the season, I would have been even more excited about him because I was just excited to see Geno go off. But knowing that the defense is already here and that the offense can now catch up, man, I really liked them early. I picked them to win the NFC West, as everybody remembers, and you thought I was crazy because everybody else in the NFC West looked on paper really good, but injury bugs have swept them, and they can always come back and play something. Don't get me wrong, okay? They can always come back, and we can take a nosedive and have our own injury bugs, but Seattle looks great right now, and I hope it continues. Seattle plus 3.5. I think they win, but Detroit's weird, and there can always be some sort of late-minute field goal, blocked point, 2-point conversion return. I don't know. Some sort of bullshit that makes it so it doesn't happen, but pretty confident Seattle. Give me Seattle on the 3. And then for our fan who asked earlier, Buffalo. I don't know if there's a team in the NFL that I would not pick Buffalo over right now. The offense, can you explain that to me?
Their defense is actually doing a great job. Their defense is winning up front.
They are.
The line is, they're controlling the line of scrimmage. They're not allowing the run to beat them up at all. Consecutive weeks, they've really shut down both running games for the most part for Miami and for Jacksonville. And of course, Josh Allen's playing just incredible. And, there's a reason why he's front runner for MVP right now.
Last week, the score at half was
34-3.
34-3, right?
Yeah.
Going back to week 3? That was last week. So week 4. This week, who they got? Oh, Baltimore, who has no idea what their offensive I know, but I'm saying Baltimore has no idea who they are, right? Offensively, defensively, I just don't see.
They know exactly who they are, bro. What are you talking about?
Get out of here.
Are you kidding me?
Swear to God.
Have you not watched them? All they do is fucking run the ball with Lamar Jackson.
Okay, so you're going to run at Buffalo?
Look how good they played, though, against Dallas when they gave Derrick Henry the ball 20 times. Look what happened. They dominated them.
I mean, they did, but what happens when Derrick Henry has gotten the ball every time when he's played against them in the past? Buffalo is the team that you can't give the ball to Derrick Henry. You have to be able to do both. Buffalo will stuff you in a locker by halftime if you try and run the ball against them.
The only reason why I feel I'm with you. I think Buffalo has the formula to slow down Henry in the running game. I think that if you put it on Lamar Jackson to throw the ball to win the game, that Buffalo wins this one. I honestly don't know why Baltimore's favored in this one.
Because it's at Baltimore. Like,
I don't
people
care.
not understand the shithole that Buffalo plays in regularly? Like, everywhere is Cancun to them. Even Baltimore. Baltimore, they're like, oh, this is nice.
I don't understand why. I don't understand for the life of me why.
Oh, we lost you again. You're quiet. Bring it back. There it is.
Underdog.
Nope.
Okay,
so
anyway. They shouldn't be the underdog.
No, they shouldn't.
They should
but
be
they are.
On the road.
And why the fuck would you not take them? Right? Everybody's healthy that I know of. I think they have a budding star at wide receiver in Keon Coleman. The guy's just a dog.
Shakir's actually playing a little bit better.
He's the leading receiver. He is. But I'm saying, like, Keon Coleman in 4 weeks, me and you will talk about it. And we're going to be like, man, Keon Coleman.
Good,
whoever drafted
he's
him.
stashed on my bench in both of my leagues that I'm 0-3 in.
Perfect.
I haven't even tasted fantasy victory yet.
Good for you. Good for you, buddy. That sucks. I'm not too far off. I'm like 1-2 in one league and 0-3 in the other. Yeah, no, Josh Allen really has. He hasn't turned the ball over yet this year. He's been playing so if that continues, Buffalo's a real problem. $25 there gets you $1,200.
Look, I want to go back to this one here by my good buddy here, Justin Domashevitz.
Okay.
Seattle has great skill players and the defense is legit. Question is, can they block and will Geno be good enough? Very fair question, because Aiden Hutchinson is going to be a problem. However, if he's lined up on Charles Cross has not allowed a sack all season, so knock on wood here, right? But Geno was great against Detroit last year. In fact, the Seahawks have performed great against Detroit over the last few seasons. So, I mean, I'm not upset at all about where you're thinking here. They went to OT last year, and I think that the Seahawks broke Dan Campbell last year. Because if you remember, it was a 3-point lead for Seattle with about 2.5 minutes left. And Detroit had the ball on like Seattle's 40-yard line. And essentially, the Lions kind of played scared. Like they didn't want to try to push for a touchdown late. They didn't want to take any chances or any shots. They played for OT. And I think that after Seattle got the ball and they went down and scored a touchdown and ended the game, that Dan Campbell was like, okay, well, I'm not playing scared forever again. We're going to run fake punts on our own 15-yard line on 4th and 29. He's going to throw everything that he has at Seattle. And, we'll see how Mike McDonald handles his first national televised game on the road. It will be a tough, environment. Detroit does have super high expectations. I like Seattle, though, in this game. If you look, the one area that really concerns me in this game, though, is the running game. The running game for Detroit is so good, and they're led by Oregon Duck, Penei Sewell. So, I mean, they got a good offensive line, probably the best offensive line in football. And Seattle's banged up without their 2 run stuffers. Byron Murphy will not play this game. Leonard Williams will not play this game. It's going to be up to some backups coming in and filling in. And, who knows? Maybe Detroit tries to get pass happy, because I like our chances if Detroit wants to try to throw the ball around the yard all day. But, David Montgomery is just an absolute beast. And, they're going to have to tackle really well, Seattle is, if they're going to win this game.
So I like to try and bring back everything that you possibly can, memory-wise, right, of games that we've had in the past. And last year, the now head coach of Seattle, who was the defensive coordinator for Baltimore, right? Baltimore and the Lions played last year. They were 5-1 and 4-2. Baltimore was 4-2. Detroit was 5-1 coming into the game. Do you remember who won?
Probably Baltimore, because we're talking about it. Yeah.
You know what the score of that game was?
Probably 31-17.
Close. It was 38-6.
Oh, good. Close game.
Right. Goff threw the ball 53 times for 284 yards. So I would believe that old MacDonald is going to have a farm and he's going to say E-I-E-I-O. And I just think that it'll be a repeat of what
he's
happened.
Going to go Nelly. He's going to go full Nelly mode.
Yeah, I just like Seattle's secondary better than I do Baltimore's secondary. I don't like Seattle's linebackers more than I like Baltimore's linebackers, but I definitely
Now hold on. Now I remember a lot of people bitching and complaining on the internet, God bless the internet. But as soon as Jordan Brooks left and didn't get re-signed and went to Miami, and then we end up taking Baker from Miami, and then we bring over another dude from Baltimore, and we pretty much went cheap on the position. I tried to pump the brakes on everybody. Like, hey, listen, Jordan Brooks really isn't anything to brag home about. If Wagner's gone, you're not moving Brooks to middle linebacker. We already saw that when Wagner left. He was awful. I don't care how many tackles he had, right? It's like, this is addition by subtraction. Oh, you're not going to find a guy like Jordan Brooks in the draft, blah, blah, blah. You don't need to. Linebacker is the most refillable position in the history of positions. Like, the only other position that's even close to being able to be plugged in and refilled like linebacker is running back. Like, those two position groups are the easiest to find dudes, late in draft, undrafted free agents. I don't understand why everyone was overlooking Mike McDonald's development ability heading into this, because Baltimore didn't have like a six-pack of dudes that were highly drafted and highly touted. They had Roquan Smith that came over from Chicago. He was their vet, but for the most part, they had younger, unproven guys.
Yeah. Nope, I totally agree. I like the way Seattle's defense is played. Give me them. Love them all day.
Let's get to college. Justin Domashevich's favorite part. I just left that Ducks there for a real long time for you, Jared. So
before we go into your six-pack here, two developing situations. Okay. Solka, the quarterback for UNLV. Did you see this?
Mm-hmm. Have you seen my picks yet? You bet I saw this.
Okay, cool. And then also USC, Bear Alexander, their defensive lineman, the guy. He's also redshirting, sitting out for a year. Then going to hit the transfer portal.
College football's ruined, bro.
It's unreal. It's the Wild West. Coaches have leverage. Players have every bit.
It's stupid. All right. My six-pack for college, it can't be worse than last week. That's for damn sure. The only identity that had a worst week last week other than myself was North Carolina getting beat by James Madison 70-50. Wow.
Unreal.
Geez. Yeah. Well, actually, I'll tell you what, Jared's lock of the week, Oklahoma. Boomer. Yeah, no, that didn't work out so well. They absolutely shit their pants against Tennessee. My lock of
the week was Utah.
Oh, my bad. That's right. Yeah, the Utes. Yeah,
and it did work out. Okay, I did.
My lock was Tennessee. So anyway, all right. So this is a big one, Jared. This is a big one. $25 wins you a lot of money here in this one.
Okay,
you're taking home almost 1,200 schmeckles. I gave it to you last week, right? The line obviously increased. The money's coming in on Georgia. Georgia minus 1.5 at Bama all day. I'm telling you right now, that's my lock of the week. There's absolutely no way Georgia loses this game. They are going to go in there.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They are going to just revenge stuff Alabama. Alabama's going to look inept. It's going to be
really.
I just spoke it. Yeah, 100% really. Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
All right.
That's pick number one.
Do it.
All right, let's go. All right, Fresno State, talking about the UNLV quarterback that just left. Okay,
I saw that.
Fresno State plus 1.5. Okay, big distraction. Who's here? Who's not here? Who paid who? Who didn't pay who? I don't care. Fresno State's here to poo-poo all over UNLV and win that game outright. I'll take the 1.5 just in case. But, yeah, that seems like easy money to me, buddy.
Absolutely.
Although, everyone likes a good, rally story. The coach is going to be like, this guy left you, and they're probably all collectively going to be like, yeah, and we suck without him. I'm going back to the I'm going back to the Utes here for you. -8 versus Arizona. I have no faith in Arizona whatsoever. I'm totally comfortable with the idea of Utah winning that game, covering 8. I don't think Arizona's really that good this year. I mean, 8 points. Yeah, the reason I don't like the number 8 particularly is because it's essentially a 2-score cover. You're not getting a touchdown there, and you're not getting a 2-point conversion to win. You're getting a 2-point conversion to tie. So I mean, this game could have push written all over it as well. But yeah, still going to go with Utah here in this one. Moving on, TCU at Kansas. I'm going to go Rock Chalk Jayhawk here, -2 at home. Close game, a game that they kind of have to win if they want to stay in the hunt, in the conversation. But who's good really in the Big 12 or the Big 16? Who's really good right now? I think Kansas has got a chance to right the ship. The good news is for Kansas is that they don't play anybody in the Big 10.
Utah.
Still there?
Yeah, I'm here. You asked who was good in the Big 12. I was telling you.
Oh, well, they're not playing them this week. That's why I picked Utah. Okay, next. I hate this. Right now, I hate this. I don't like this at all. But I'm going to go there, okay? The Fighting Irish.
Ooh.
Okay. 7 points at home against Louisville. I don't like it. This is a classic Notre Dame letdown.
Yes, 100%. It is.
This has Northern Illinois Huskies written all over it. In fact, what is Louisville's mascot?
A cardinal.
And what is a cardinal?
A bird.
Exactly. I don't feel comfortable with a bird coming into Notre Dame. They're Irish, all right? They don't really eat birds. They don't really eat birds.
No, they scare off snakes, right? That's what they do.
So I'm reluctant. I don't like depending on Notre Dame for anything. The only reason why I'm going with Notre Dame now is because Brian Kelly doesn't coach them to screw it up. So I'm going with the Irish here, -7 against Louisville. And then finally, to round it out, James Madison. Boy, I'm scared of this number, but I'm going to do it. I'm going with the Stones. -20.5 against Ball State.
Number.
I mean, just putting up 70 last week. I think they scored 102 in the first half, and then they had to subtract in the second half to make it look more respectable. I'm going Ball State here, 20.5. That's 3 touchdowns, 21. I'm going Ball State like 49-20. This is going to be a cover. And then again, 25 doll hairs will get you $1,194 at plus 4,679 odds. Deal with it.
Not bad.
You know what a cardinal is, right?
Yeah, it's a bird.
Exactly. All right, let's go back. To Jared here.
Justin's bringing up a good point. We might have to check with Brucey. Put that up there.
Notre Dame, what?
2 comments up. A cardinal is also a senior leader in a Catholic church. This is true. This could pose a fucking issue. Okay, you could fucking end up in absolutely destination fucked if you know the Dame. If there's one thing about cardinals and the church type, right, then the sneaky bastards.
Yeah, I guess that's one way to put it.
So it depends. Technically, this is a bit. Louisville is a bit. Okay. So we're not going to extrapolate through all the different variances of a bird, right? Versus the actual. But I hear you. Justin, great point. Great point.
A driver is both a golf club and a person behind an automobile. Just because a word could be, in context, 2 different things. It's like what, the Batman says, what's this? It's a bat. And then he goes, I'm a bat.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, buddy, but sometimes it's more about the manifestation of the mind, right?
All right.
Let's get into this.
It's still a bird. It's still
because you wanted to talk about big money. I brought big money. We like to play the long odds. Okay.
Yeah, you got big money. That's for sure.
This game makes no sense to me at all. Baylor, BYU. It's a 3-point game. Baylor's favored. How? I don't know. They're 2-2, 0-1 in play. BYU, who's also in the Big 12, they're just 4-1 and absolutely blew the doors off of Kansas State last week, who everybody thought was going to be one of the teams at the end of the season in the Big 12 trying to make a play. The Wildcats roar, right? Not the case. Wildcats fumble. That's what happens. Turnovers constantly. And BYU was the team that made it happen. So BYU, straight up, love them. Love them. Okay. Next one, Nebraska is going to the Boilermakers, right? I don't know what people saw last week from Nebraska. I don't know what people have seen, period, from Nebraska to make you believe that they are this team that is going to go and win games like this on the road. Purdue slept on. Purdue's sneaky good, okay? And Nebraska is one of those teams that's going to be like, no, we were a ranked team at one point. They're going to get the doors blown off of them. Purdue, big, straight up, okay? Colorado at UCF, 14 points. You don't think after what we just saw last week that Shadura can't find a 14-point cover somewhere in this game? Absolutely, I do, unless Shadura's not playing. But I think he'll find a 14-point cover. This game, I thought on it for a long time to make sure I wasn't just picking this with my heart. Okay. Wisconsin travels to USC. USC is a team under Lincoln Riley that is, it's like a balloon, right? Like one of those massive balloons. And if nobody ever pops it, it'll get huge and it'll become unstoppable and it'll go all the way to space. But as soon as something pops it, and losing one of your best defensive linemen because something's not right within that locker room, right? You have dissent in the ranks, and maybe they play better without him. I don't know. That's the thing of college football, right? But I know for a fact Lincoln Riley doesn't have a team that responds well. Under him, never has. They need to be a team that plays from out in front. Luke Fickles looked like dog shit all year, right? Wisconsin hasn't looked great. They looked terrible against Alabama. This is like the lowest hanging fruit that you can beat and still beat your chest about. And people will be like, you did beat USC at the end of the year, right? So give me Luke Fickell in Wisconsin. Stanford plus 22. Are we forgetting these boys packed up, came all the way across the United States last week and beat Syracuse on a Friday night as road dogs?
The tree doesn't get any respect.
None. 22 points at Clemson. Clemson's going to have so much of a problem in this game. You know what the problem with playing Stanford is? They'll just take the air out of the ball.
But they grind the shit out of you.
Yes. And then on top of it, they're all fucking rocket scientists. So when the coach is like, hey, guys, here's the adjustment. You guys need to do this. This is the adjustment for inside the game. They're like, okay, we're going to make that happen for you. And then they actually make it happen because they're not like, fuck that shit, man. I'm going out there and making a play for myself, right? Like such a different, they're a team that's bought in. 22 points. Clemson very well is going to win this game. Don't get me wrong.
I love the under in this game as well.
Yeah, I think Clemson wins the game, but I have like a 17-9 read on this game right now. It's going to be low scoring. Like you said, I would bet the under if I'm betting on it in that kind of sense.
Yeah,
and
27-13, 27-16.
Yeah,
that's the number you should be looking at right there.
And then game 6, we're going to talk about it. This is where I have an agreement with you, but I also disagree with your mentality about it. Georgia plays Alabama. This is the best game of the week, right? I have Georgia winning. But I would be fucking lying to you if I did not say Kalen DeBoer has every shot in this fight. And I know it's a weird thing to think about, but Lanning came from Kirby Smart. That's the same type of defense. Now, does Georgia have better athletes on the defense than what Kalen DeBoer played last year at Oregon twice? Yeah, but I also watched Kalen DeBoer make it fucking happen. And the step down or the difference from Michael Penix to Jalen Milroe is a complete night and day difference, but those guys give you nightmares in the same way. Michael Penix can make any throw and destroy you on 3rd and 14, 4th and 6, right? And with just absolute lasers, as opposed to Jalen Milroe can now do that with his feet. You have to worry about him lining up with 2 tight ends and a running back, so he's got 3 blockers to help him make it downfield for 4 yards. Like, it's a nightmare. And Kalen DeBoer is a motherfucker, and I can't stand him because he's ruined too many great moments, right? Him and Michael Penix. Great. Love them both. Hope they have great careers. But I'm happy that he is not in the purple and gold no more.
Why don't you just pick Alabama?
Because I hope I'm wrong.
It's already on the graphic, right?
Yeah, it's already on the graphic, and I hope I'm wrong, right? I'm kind of Warlock. I'm not using my Warlock math here. My Warlock math comes with my lock of the week.
Kalen DeBoer was only as good as Ryan Grubb. Listen, Jaden Milroe is going to have to be like perfect in this game. Do you know who costed Georgia their perfect season last year, a chance to get to the playoffs?
Jalen Milroe.
Yeah, it was Alabama.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So Alabama, right, has got one coming to them.
I mean, they do, but like, what
Georgia's
about
they're gonna roll them, bro. It's gonna be a 2-score game.
Ryan Williams, the 17-year-old who plays for Alabama, who's their leading wide receiver? He's gonna be a problem, and I don't know. Georgia's gonna win. Okay, it's already on the graphic. It's where I'm putting my money. It's what I would bet on because I hope I'm wrong.
Everybody's looking at that game that Georgia just played against Kentucky, a 1-point win on the road, like 13-12, as a sign that maybe Georgia isn't quite as good as we all thought that they were. I'm telling you right now, that if there's a game that they've been prepared for, it's this one.
I mean, yeah, I don't think Georgia's as good offensively as what they were last year. Period.
No.
Brock Bowers is a huge weapon, and you don't have him. So they are a defensive-led team, and I'm making this pick based on Kirby being able to out-coach Kalen. Defense first offense. Like, that's
I think Kalen DeBoer is getting too much credit here. All right. I'm not, and this is coming from a Husky, fan. I'm telling you right now. I think for year number 1, right, at Alabama, too much credit. You got to give Kirby Smart the coaching edge here in this one.
That's what I said. I said I made this bet based on Kirby Smart out coaching Kalen DeBoer.
They got 5-star athletes on the bench. They're like the new Alabama.
How are you betting this on the over under? It's 50.5.
Oh, under.
Under.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I think that's kind of, if it's over, Bama's winning. If the under hits, Georgia won.
It's like 27-17.
We'll see. Best thing about this is games get played this weekend, right?
I don't understand what you're worried about. I locked it up, bro. I'm 3-0 on locks.
Hey, I picked with you. You see it, the graphic. It's right there.
You're gonna be happy.
So if you play that as a parlay,
you're winning 9,500 if this hits.
I know. Isn't that beautiful?
That's a nice vacation for you and your 7 children.
You just gotta hope it's not 7 yet. Purdue, pulls it out. A Colorado cover, I don't feel. Yes, it's a long shot. The odds reflect that, but You know, look at the payday. Look at the payday. Any other closing thoughts for us before we head into our beautiful weekend of football?
Just that you didn't provide a lock.
Oh, my bad. I forgot. I did have that. It's near and dear to your heart.
Oh God. Northwestern.
North Carolina over Pitt with the lock. I enjoy that. I could subscribe to that theory.
No
My
shot.
lock of the week, and I had to outsource some of these odds. And you know, there's only one time.
Did you tease them down? You're trying to tease them down?
Tease what down?
The odds.
No, I wasn't trying to tease anything down. I have to outsource them because we can't bet on these guys at the.
You're looking at Washington.
No.
They're playing Northwestern.
No.
If anything, the money's coming in so far. The money's coming in so far on Washington. I'd go Rutgers.
I'm trying to find it. Hold on, it's a late kickoff. You guys kick off right before we do. It's like 7:00 kickoff, isn't it? Where is it? Oh, it's right there. I forgot I follow Washington on here. It's on Friday, so that's a big issue. Okay,
tomorrow.
Yeah. Friday night game, 5:00 kickoff, 9:27 at Rutgers Scarlet Knights, home of the undefeated, right? And Rutgers is favored by 2.5. The amount of disrespect on this Washington team, having to travel all the way across the United States to go play this football game, is a little beyond me. Don't get me wrong. Washington State, the Apple Cup happened, but outside that, the defense has looked amazing. 3 points, 9-5. Rutgers was in a 3-point game against Virginia Tech. They blew out Akron. They blew out Howard. Okay. They've only played 3 games. This is going to be Washington's 5th game. So that's a huge thing, right? In itself. I guess it's Rutgers' 4th game, Washington's 5th game. Give me Washington, especially as the underdogs. That's my lock of the week. Huskies all the way across the United States to spread that purple and gold.
Yeah, the defense is pretty good.
It is. It's been very good.
That's been the one area where I feel pretty good about Washington. At this point,
71 degrees.
It's pretty hard to rely on Washington's offense to do much of anything, but Justin doesn't think very highly of Washington this year, and that's probably just because of all the James Madison hype, here on the show. But I don't necessarily disagree that they're not quite as good as they were last year, obviously. But I wouldn't say
that NFL quarterback and 3 wide receivers. Your worst wide receiver that was on your team last year is leading his team in touchdown receptions and yards.
Yeah, well, he plays on the Patriots, so
right.
But still, yeah, I can still see 6 or 7 wins here, Justin. I mean, that's considered a winning season. I honestly think that the Huskies are going to win this game. I think that Rutgers is not really an offensive juggernaut by any means, and I feel good enough about the running game for Washington being able to come through. Will Rogers has been decent at quarterback so far, so
feed Jonah. Jonah. Will distribute the ball where you need to. This isn't a hard game plan. Jed just needs to get out of his own way. I'll be honest.
They've already got 3 wins. You're saying 5 maybe? Oh my God.
Let's look at okay. Just because I like dancing.
There's a lot of disrespect here at that.
I mean, what is this guy?
They're going to beat Oregon, right? That's automatic.
But Rutgers,
you know it.
Michigan, Iowa, Indiana. Wow. So you're at Rutgers this week. You're home against Michigan on 10-5.
That's a win.
You're at Iowa. You're at Indiana.
Win.
You're home against USC.
Oh, easy win.
You're at Penn State.
Loss.
You're home against UCLA.
Win. Easy win.
And then you're at Oregon.
Easy win. Yeah.
I love it.
I see one loss maybe on that slate there.
That's good, man. I love the confidence.
Way over. Give me come on. You're kidding me. Washington State's an absolute fucking juggernaut this year, okay?
Well, you want to know what's funny? I have to double check this now because I want to see. I thought I saw at one point the Pac-12.
No, that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it does. They're the Pac-7 even.
Dude, they should have stayed at the 6. They could have been the 6-pack.
We get to find out how good Washington State actually is this week. You know who they play?
Who do they play? North Dakota?
No, 7 p.m. kickoff against Boise State.
We get to see how good they are.
Yeah.
What a test. What a test.
Boise State, you know, from what I've seen of Boise State this year, world beaters.
Juggernaut.
I mean,
yeah,
Ashton.
Unstoppable.
Okay, all joking aside, listen, their running back has 56 carries for 586 yards and 9 touchdowns. He's 10 yards a pop if you give him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Just unreal. Mateer, though, look at that guy. 50% completion rating for 1,100 yards.
That's a terrible completion percentage, though.
It is. He's 63 of 116, but he's got 1,100 yards. And he's the leading rusher for Washington State with 57 carries for 425 yards and a touchdown.
Absolute menace, bro. Dual threat.
He is. He's a menace. That's exactly what he is.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you have to have a menace on your roster if you beat Washington.
That's my sickos game of the week. Is the 7? I mean, I'll be watching Oregon and UCLA kick off at fucking 1 o'clock in the morning.
It's a big number in that game.
It is. I don't like it.
Was it 27?
Let's look because I actually have odds for them on the Alani.
Isn't it 27 and a half?
I'm going. Hold on. I got to scroll all the way to fucking 8 o'clock. Yeah, 25 and a half right now.
25 and a half.
At Autzen South.
So it's at LA.
Yeah, Autzen South. I said that's
God. Exactly. I can't believe that I'm living in a day to where a game being played at the Rose Bowl, UCLA is a home dog of 25 and a half to anybody. Like
go back and tell 2002 version of Nick that in 22 years, Oregon would be favored against both LA teams in LA.
Maybe so, but the number is just astounding to me.
Yeah, 25 and a half there.
But they just got absolutely worked by Indiana?
UCLA?
Yeah.
No, UCLA had a good game last week. I think.
What are you talking about? They got beat by 100 by Indiana.
No, they lost 42-13 against.
That's
Indiana.
100.
Indiana is a powerhouse.
Hey, that version of Nick was 18 technically, Justin. So I was a man. I was 40.
I mean, they lost to LSU last week, 34-17, and I feel like that game was a whole lot closer than the score shows. No, it wasn't. I lied. Never mind. It was 17-17 at half and 24-17 going into the fourth quarter, and then LSU scored 10. But they have no run game. Garbers was the only thing that worked.
Brian Kelly is factored into that whole equation, okay? There's no Brian Kelly this week. By the way, you mentioned something about Kirby Smart earlier, right?
Yep.
About Dan Lanning and stuff as well. Yep. I can't remember when we're talking about Bama. How come Dan Lanning doesn't coach defense like Kirby Smart?
I think he does.
No, stop.
I'm telling you the truth.
No, it's not true. The Ducks gave up 34 to that juggernaut Boise State you were talking about earlier.
Boise State's good. Ashton Gianti's good.
You're so full of shit.
Count your lucky stars that Washington doesn't have Boise State on the roster.
Yeah.
You guys just played Northwestern and Eastern Michigan and Weber State.
Weber.
Yeah, Weber State. Sorry.
Yep.
Like I said, you guys have Rutgers.
Put some respect on Damian Lillard's alma mater.
That's true. But yeah, we'll get to find out more about the Huskies tomorrow at 5. I got their back. I think Huskies beat Rutgers. There's no way you go all the way out there and lose to Scarlet Knights.
Justin says Washington would lose to Boise State. Well, guess what?
Thank you, Justin.
We might actually find that out. Las Vegas Bowl, baby. Let's go. I gotta be honest though, if the Huskies are only losing one more game, that means that they're going 10-2. That means that they're playing in like the Fiesta Bowl or the college football playoff, bro.
Back-to-back playoffs. Hold on, now I gotta find Boise State and see what the rest of their schedule is.
Juggernauts. I'm sure they got UNLV on there, Utah State, Wyoming.
I'll tell you. Hold on.
Air Force.
Top 25 team, by the way. So Oregon already has a top 25 win, just so everybody's aware.
Just wait till Weber State climbs up into the rankings, bro.
Yeah. Washington State.
In FCS.
They're at home against Washington State, at home against Utah State. They go to Hawaii, to UNLV, home against San Diego State, home against Nevada, at San Jose State, at Wyoming, and then finish with Oregon State. They're going to be fucking 11-1.
Yeah, they might go undefeated in that stretch of games. Wow.
They're going to go 11-1, make it into playoffs, and
you know that pathetic Duck fans are going to be like, see, look, we beat an 11-win team, and it was a 3-point game. That's why it was close, you know?
Any Duck fan who'd run around bragging about beating an 11-1 Boise wasn't there for the triumphant Fiesta Bowl that was the ass-kicking and snuffing of flames of the undefeated Liberty Flames, okay?
Sure.
Yeah, that's the game that we hang our hats on.
Yeah, because Liberty, yeah. Liberty's more than an insurance company. Okay?
They're a Christian school somewhere in the South.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to be honest with you. I'm still kind of hung up on the Notre Dame and the Cardinal deal. That double entendre there has kind of got me a little worried.
Man, Justin, we were so close to being friends, and then you just write things like that. It's wrong.
No, inaccurate. It's fine. It's probably only one of the correct things that he's typed out tonight, so.
I appreciate it back, but man.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, had a pretty good, lively audience here tonight.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be a part of the show.
Appreciate excited to do it. Dropping in.
Yeah. It feels like we went a little bit longer today.
And see us next week when I'm $9,578.
Collecting nearly 10 Jeezels.
Well, in between the two, yeah, it's going to be a come up of like 14 grand.
I like come ups.
Yep. Amen.
Speaking of come ups, tomorrow I find out the gender of our baby to be early in the morning.
What's the odds?
I would probably put boy at a heavy minus 340 favorite here. I mean, I would probably give a girl about 3.5 or 4-1, odds on the money, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm already 2 for 2 in the boy department, and
you know what?
Yeah.
I like the under here. Give me the girl.
Yeah. You think so?
Give me the girl. 100%. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Felt it as soon as I heard that 3.5. I was like, "Oh, too much."
You want the number?
Yeah, give me the number.
Yeah, thank you, Justin. I appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, we just had our second baby Preston Leonard. He's 8 months old right now, so he's going to be about just turned 12 months when we have this. When we have this baby, we got Irish twins coming here. So
had a kid.
Yeah, got it got it done, get her done, didn't waste any time. But I'm gonna, if we have a girl, that would be a blessing. I know Jared's wife was really wanting a girl, and maybe Jared was too, who knows. But Jared, like I said, he's got 14 children and 13 boys. So took a while. Took a while to get there, but eventually made it. But it'd be special to have a baby girl. It would probably make me a little bit more I don't know, sensitive, I would say, at least. I don't know, a little bit softer of a parent, because
you think about stuff a little bit more. Boys, you're like, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Tough it up, you're fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, our newest addition, Preston, oh my gosh. Like, I don't like to make comparisons, but he's so much different than Vaughn when Vaughn was a baby.
They all are. They're all going to be different.
It's crazy. He's just like, he's so determined and independent right now, and just wants to freaking like be set down. He doesn't want to be held really anymore. Right. Now that he can move and crawl and stand and grab and stuff, like all he wants to do is just menace the cats and go to their cat food bowl and dog food, just dump it all out all over the place. And anything he can grab, it's great. It's cute, but man, he's a little warrior. That guy's got bumps on his forehead from knocking himself into cabinets, the corner of his crib. He just has no stop, no quitting him. Yeah, Jared, you're Philip Rivers now, apparently. Yeah,
I see that.
Yeah, pretty soon you'll be converting to Mormonism. So
it's because every time you talk about me having kids, you add 3.
13 or so. I mean, Jared legit has what, 4 children?
Yeah, 4.
Doing great. Okay, doing great. Yeah,
just 4.
Probably having more though, right?
No,
I mean, once you have 4, you got to have 5.
Got that procedure done, son. We done.
Oh man, no wonder your football knowledge has gone down.
Wow, sir. Let me check the overall for the year. Scoreboard doesn't lie.
How's it look?
From this year so far, it looks great. I'm 9-4 in the NFL and 11-10 in college. And we're positive in both.
You're doing great. I'm not. That's it. I'm not. I said I almost jumped off a proverbial betting cliff over the weekend until, I had to rely on Shedeur Sanders' Hail Mary tactics and Colorado's field storming antics to at least salvage one win and then also get the lock of the week. So technically 2-5, but
Nothing
like I said, didn't have a good week. No, he's not Philip Rivers. Philip Rivers has what, 9 children, I think, something like that, 8 or 9. Yeah, but Philip Rivers ain't no Tyreek Hill or Travis Henry, so there's that.
Facts.
All right. Well, I think that we have bored the audience enough here tonight, Jared.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody dropping in.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody coming in. Check us out at zbookies.com for some previous shows that we've done, obviously previously. But if you guys would, please do us a favor and go to our page. It's on Facebook at zbookies.com and just hit the follow button. We need at least 100 so we can directly stream to that platform. Otherwise, we're just using N2 Media, which is okay, by the way. But we would definitely like to grow our following on our Facebook page, and all of our shows can be rewatched on the N2 Media YouTube channel. We do appreciate everybody's support and coming in and contributing on the live stream chat here tonight. A lot of good feedback. And we leave you with our outro here before we are out of here for the night. May your bets cash and your tickets stay intact. I am Nick. That is Jared. Have a good evening.